welcome to a brand new episode of the Straight Show Podcast. I am your host, Calvin. It is winding down to the end of our season, y'all. We're having a good time right now. And like I said, y'all love our segments called Music Monday. In reality, when it comes to download numbers, our Music Monday episodes have been some of the top 10. And today is Monday, and today we have another Music Monday. And once again, this is a little personal to me. That our last Music Monday, you probably heard of this guy named Five. Just somebody in, Baltimore doing some things. Nah, I'm playing. He killing it right now. He got a brand new album out. Make sure you go get his album. I wrote the letter V. Shout out to Five. But if you heard the episode, he was campaigning for a partner in crime of his, somebody that he said influenced him with his lyricism. And I've been watching this guy since middle school. And the name of this person and our guest today, help me welcome the one and only Marlo Kyng. Marlo, how you doing?
What's going on, brother? How you doing, man?
Yes, sir. Hey, y'all. Marlo's been ducking and dodging me, man. We've been setting this up for the past 2 years now?
Yeah, man.
Since
Look,
I started music,
brother.
No, you're good. You're good. Since I started Music Monday, I said I want Marlo Kyng on my show. And let me tell you this, because Marlo Kyng, he was promoting an album. This album was called Nobody's Favorite. And I'm just like, all right, well, this is dope teaser. I want you on the show. And then we just like, all right, it just felt, I was playing. But no, we with the help of Five, we got Marlo Kyng on the show today. So once again, Marlo, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me, brother. I appreciate you reaching out.
Yes, sir. And like I said, me and Marlo got some history. I think me and him go way back, further than Five. We go all the way back to 8th grade, middle school. So man, yes, just tell people just tell us who you are and where you're from. Who is Marlo Kyng?
Oh man, so where should I start, man? So I was originally born in New York, raised out there for a little bit. I moved to Louisiana maybe when I was 6 years old. So I was raised between two places. So I would go to school in Louisiana, and then during the year, and then in the summertime I would go back home. So I'm originally from Yonkers, New York. My father, he worked for General Motors, and then when the plant shut down, he moved out there. Maybe he moved out to Louisiana maybe 6 months before I did, and then maybe a day or two after my 6th birthday, I moved to Louisiana, summer of '95, and I was raised there, man. Shreveport, Louisiana is my home, man. A lot of people from the city think that I just had moved to Louisiana because of my accent, but my whole family's from New York, so living in a house with people who have New York accents, it's kind of hard not to inherit that. You know what I mean? And then going up there and being amongst my family that's from New York and stuff like that. So my accent always was with me, even growing up in Shreveport, Louisiana. Everybody would think that I had just moved down there, but it's just I grew up down here with all y'all. You know what I'm saying? I went to Summerfield Elementary, then I went to Riverside Elementary, then I went to Broadmoor Middle, then 6th, 7th, and part of my 8th grade year, and then I went to Ridgewood, and then I went to Byrd all 4 years, and I graduated from Byrd. So,
shout out to the Raiders and the Yellow Jackets.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Raiders and the Yellow Jackets and the Bulldogs and the Rams. You know what I'm saying?
You're going way back now.
My kids go to Riverside right now. You know what I'm saying? So, I am proud to say that I am from Louisiana as well as New York, but more so Louisiana.
Yep, and like Marlo was saying, that's kind of where we first saw each other. And I think, man, I try to remember. I remember Hakeem in middle school, but I remember you too. But just like Five, personally knowing them, even in high school, those two were always the freshest at school. I'm telling y'all had drip.
Let me tell people, man, they don't be believing in me, man. Five is my brother, man. Like we go back since the 6th grade at Broadmoor. How I met Five was, we would ride the same bus together because like his neighborhood was fairly close to mine. So he'd be on the bus before I'd be on the bus, and I would get on the bus. I had my headphones in, like minding my business, pretty much, because I wasn't a loudmouth or one of them type of guys that had to be seen or needed to be seen. But I was super like laser focused on my music even back then because I've been rapping since I was 8 years old. So I get on the bus, and it's funny because I would listen to this Joe Budden CD, his first CD that he ever put out. So that was the first CD that I ever purchased. I listen to that every morning, and Tay, Five, as y'all know him, I know him as Tay, but Five would be like, "Yo, man, what are you listening to?" So when I finally let him listen to it, he just started listening to it with me and stuff like that, and then that's how our friendship started through music. So yeah.
I would think it would be style too, because like even we had uniforms, and y'all was still like the freshest. Like, I'm like, bruh, like how y'all just they always, I'm telling y'all, they would like even from like middle school to high school, them two was always the freshest. I'm like, man, look, I can't touch y'all, man.
Yeah, man, we would try, man. We would try our best, man, because we were so immersed in hip hop culture, um, that we tried to set our own trends. We didn't really try to follow, the trends that was in Shreveport, because you know how Shreveport, trends can be a little, late on arrival sometimes and stuff. Not talk bad about my city because I love it, but we always did things differently. You know what I'm saying? Probably was like the only kids in school wearing Timbs. Probably around that time, probably the only kids in that, in school wearing like different type of shoes, different type of clothes and stuff like that. Just not really just trying to set ourselves apart, but it just basically, we just like different things, and I guess that attracted people to us. Sometimes most times in a good way, sometimes in a bad way. But here we are today.
Yeah, and like I said, and like since I've known Marlo, like I've always known that he was into music because I played football, and Marlo was
Right,
just
right.
like Marlo was just like always about the music, man. So like
Always.
to see you as a child and now doing music as a man and doing it like, and you're not just doing it, you're doing it well. You know what I mean? Like,
Thank you.
and like I said, now you like kind of like, kind of with that same friendship, you've been able to like catapult that with Five and kind of like, because one thing about the reason, and y'all know this, that when I have an artist on Music Monday, I'm very critical about music because I used to DJ in Shreveport and like be all
Yep.
around, and like and we're gonna talk about 318 Cipher, and all the ciphers that I would catch Marlo at. But I used to DJ. I'm really critical about music, and do you have like X, Y, and then Z? Because some people they just come with X and they just like make like a go in the studio and just record a song. But do you have that
Right.
Y to where it's like, all right, I gotta put the promotion out there? Do you have the Z to where you make a music video? And do you have like the the actually going out the extra to where you're performing it too? You know what I mean? So like it's just like when you have people like Marlo and Five, that's kind of people that I want to have on the show because it's so unique and you're not backed by anybody. Like that shows the main hustle. So like the
Yeah.
hustle way. Just shout out to kid. But
Shout
like
out to
that's
Five. Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
Five is just like, like that's the hustle. And like so when you hear Marlo, and you're gonna hear some of his music here in a second, but man, like you really are on your way, man. I love the work that you've been doing. So like I
Thank you.
had to have him on the show. We're gonna have a little bit more with Marlo Kyng on the Music
Yes,
Monday
sir.
Straight Up Show podcast. Make sure you stay tuned to the KYNG.
I just pulled up in a race, so you know it ain't safe. Plain Jane with your meal, killing this shit from the gate. I just pulled up in a race, so you know it ain't safe. Plain Jane with your meal, killing this shit from the gate. I just pulled up in a race, so you know it ain't safe. Plain Jane with your meal, killing this shit from the gate. I just pulled up in a race, so you know it ain't safe. Plain Jane with your meal, killing this shit from the gate. Facts. I was sitting in the back, they wouldn't let a young in, but I still slipped through the cracks. They tried to told me turn it down, but I turned that bitch to the max. Told me you why to make it to the mountaintop, so you know I'm never going back. They asking me how did I get here? I just prayed and I stacked. It looked like I came out of nowhere, but that's what it is when you made it magic. Slept on the floor, couldn't afford me a mattress. I ain't even have an address. Tragic, started making me some money till my brother told me I was hustling backwards. Remember that list like it's yesterday. Worked through the night for them better days. Went from whipping a straight drop in the pot to me making a salary in a day. Now I'm making them big drops, balling out of control, and I know that they feel away. Never complain, I just went and built me a name, and now I can feel the hate.
If you're a fan of our show, you know we take pride in being from Louisiana. From our show's colors to our conversations about food, we love our home state. And since it's Mardi Gras season, the Straight Up Show podcast now has exclusive Louisiana Pride merchandise at our online store. Just visit our website, straightupshowpodcast.com. That's STR, the number 8, showpodcast.com. Shirts start as low as $19.99. And remember, laissez le bon temps rouler.
All right, welcome back to the Straight Up Show podcast, Music Monday. I am joined today by my wonderful guest, Mr. Marlo Kyng, hip-hop head.
Sure.
He was been in Louisiana most of his life. For some reason, his New York accent, son, it never went away. No, I was playing. But it never it never went away. And I always noticed about Marlo is just like, man, that accent was always thick, man. And you know in music, you have to be different. And like, I think that even as a kid, man, like you just stood out from the rest. And you know, crazy enough, and I might be lying to you, but I think it's a picture of me, you, Adrian, Hakeem, who else? All at Ridgewood, and we was posted up against the wall.
Oh, I remember that picture.
If I can find that picture, I think I have it in my room. But it's like me, you, Hakeem. Well, not even me. I think it's just Hakeem, you, Adrian, like Preload. A lot of people that we, you know, a lot of old school people that's kind of like, you know, hip hop royalty. I mean, Shreveport royalty out there. But like, if I can find it, I'm gonna post it and show you. But
yeah, please post it, man, and share it with me. I remember that picture. I was all the way I was all the way on the end.
Yeah,
because I was new to the school, and I remember I had on a black hoodie. I had my hood on. I remember that picture very vaguely, man. So yeah, that time was very that was a different time for me, man. I didn't know anybody too much at that school. I was just still trying to get my feet wet around the school. I had just recently suffered a loss. Rest in peace, my father. That's why I transferred schools, because my father had passed, so I had to, you know, move and live with my aunt. And the neighboring school around that time was Ridgewood. So, you know, I went to Ridgewood. I met some great people like you, Hakeem, Isaiah Porter.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Jasmine Fields. You know what I'm saying? That's my daughter's mom and stuff like that. A lot of people, man. Preload. You know, just a lot of great people that I know. Like a lot of them people went to different schools when I went to high school. A lot of them went to Southwood. A lot of them went to Magnet High. A lot of them went to Huntington. But you know, me and Calvin, we went to the greatest school in Shreveport, man. We went to Bird.
Yeah. And some of the people went to our school rival, and that was we ain't gonna say her name, but disappointment.
Yeah, you know, we ain't gonna
say that name.
We too full on Gator Gumbo to be talking about that.
Yeah, too much of Gator Gumbo. We don't have to really, you know, talk about that, you know. But yeah, but like I said, man, just see, you hear all that. Like, and speaking of, Isaiah's actually my neighbor back.
Oh, word?
Yeah.
Hey, man, when you see him, tell him I said what's up, man.
Okay, yeah, he's my neighbor. You know what's crazy? Like, he's been out here about maybe 2 years, and I have not seen him since. Like, even though we like in walking distance, I still have not seen him, man. Just being an adult, man, just busy, man.
Hey, man, that's how it is, man. Like when you an adult, man, you don't, you know, a lot of things that you used to do as a young adult or a teenager, or you know, coming into your own, man, you don't do those things anymore. Like it's a lot of stuff that I used to do that I don't do anymore. So, you know, my main focus is the music and my children, man.
Yep, and that's the critical part about to see you and like Five, like to see y'all to. I think the best part about a musician is to be a fan of music and to see where that musician started off and where they are now. So to see you being dedicated to not only your craft at a young age, to actually still be doing it, you know, right now. Because even though I don't do DJing no more, Like all the music you hear on the show, like the commercials, that's all me. I make that from scratch. Like that's my producing skills.
Right.
Like I still do that, and like so, but I never got away from it. So, but me, I was always a photographer, like in middle school, taking pictures of people and stuff like that,
Right.
and I still do that. Edit, so. But to see people like you, that kind of gives me motivation. Like, dang, like you know what? He really believes in his craft, and so now here you are as Marlo Kyng, and a lot of people may hear the name Marlo and kind of get familiar to that name. But for those who don't know, how did you? And this is a very unique story, so get ready for this. So,
Yeah.
how did you come up with the name Marlo Kyng?
Oh man, so how I came up with the name Marlo King. So let's take it back a minute. I went through a number of names before I got to Marlo King. So at first, when I was in middle school, everybody was putting it young before they actual rap name. So I had a couple corny names, Young Prospect, and then I went from dollar sign. Then I went from Young Prospect to dollar sign. Then from dollar sign, I went from dollar sign to M3. Basically, M3 was like the first initial of my last name, and I'm the third. You know what I'm saying? So I'm named after my grandfather and my father. So I started calling myself M3, and then for a time I was going by M3 for a minute. So when I moved away from Shreveport, I had moved to Virginia for like 4 years, and then I had left Virginia and went and moved to Atlanta for a little bit. And I was at my brother's house, and we were just going over my music and stuff because I was going through a change with my music. And he was like, "Bro, you got to change your name because your name ain't appealing, bro. Your name is not appealing." So I was like, all right, I'm gonna see what I come up with. So the whole time I was at my brother's house, I was watching this show called The Wire. The Wire, if you've never seen The Wire, you need to watch The Wire. One of the best shows on earth. It's not continuing anymore, but you can pull it up anywhere and watch it. So it's the last season of The Wire, and it's this character on there named Marlo Stanfield, right? And I was watching so much of it, I just had an admiration of how he wanted to be the king of the streets so much, and it just kind of reminded me of how much I want to be the king of the music game, or just be the king of rap. You know what I'm saying? So um excuse my French, but when I was watching it, I said to myself, that's a cool young grinding right there. You know what I'm saying? So I said, you know what, that's it. That's gonna be my name. Marlo, and the King part is actually an acronym. So I just switched up the C and put a K on it. Uh cool young, cool young grinding. You know what I'm saying? So that's where the Marlo King name comes from, and it stuck with me, and it's been working, and it's to the point to where people that I've been knowing for years forgot my actual real name and just started calling me Marlo or Lo, or you know what I'm saying? Like people that know me, they call me Lo, or people that really know me call me by my real name, my real nickname. But people that just see me in passing, they all call me Marlo, and I'm cool with that.
And I think that's excuse me. I think that's so hip hop. Like
Yeah.
it's no more hip hop than that because you think about it, like back when we were growing up, like Easy, that they wanted to be like, kind of like the mafia and all this stuff like that. They want to be
But
gangster, like to see you like go after like Marlo Stansfield, like man, that is so hip hop because like that's just hip hop, man, and it's
yeah, it's
just
definitely hip hop, man. I have fully indulged in the culture, man. Like I've been fully immersed in music since I can remember, man. Like my mom used to tell me, like when I was younger, when I was a little kid, before I even moved to Louisiana, that I used to try to put on all the coats and all the fly jackets in the house, stand in front of the TV, and when Big Daddy Kane come on, I used to try to mimic Big Daddy Kane. And then the year that I really fell in love with hip hop was like summer of '97. My older brother, he playing all the DJ Clue mixtapes. Wu Tang Triumph had came out. Then when I'm making friends, in Louisiana, I'm getting introduced to Cash Money, No Limit, Trill ENT. Like Then I'm getting introduced to screw music, like the Texas wave and stuff like that. So I'm taking all of these elements. And then on top of that, let me not forget to mention that my oldest brother, like he's one of the main reasons why I started rapping. Shout out to my bro Ty Cobb or Ty Marshall. You know what I'm saying? He's a very well-renowned author at this point. But before he started writing books, he was in the industry, like the industry for real, for real.
Mm.
So he was a big inspiration in my life as to why I started rapping. Because everything that he wanted to do, I wanted to do it too. So anything that he did, I kind of try to mimic it. So he's a big reason why I started rapping and stuff like that. So I've been fully immersed in music for as long as I can remember, man. So when you have a passion for it, it doesn't seem it's not a job. You know what I'm saying? When you're passionate about what you're doing, it's not a job. I don't ever see myself hanging it up or stop rapping. I'm gonna always make music, even if I don't make it big. I'm gonna always make music, or I'm gonna try to find, or I'm gonna come across somebody who has the same passion that I had as a young person, or that I have now, and try to coach them in the right direction. So I'm gonna always be fully immersed in music, no matter what.
Well, with that being said, Marlo, we getting old, bro.
I mean, I don't think so though.
I mean,
I don't think so, man. I think we're getting smarter with our decisions. You know what I'm saying?
Like, yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Maybe physically you don't have as much energy as you had as we did at high school and stuff like that. But because life tends to throw stuff at us to make us kind of like take a step back and not be as forceful with our dreams. But at the same time, you just have to endure and just learn from the mistakes that you made. So as far as like, oh, we getting old and stuff like that, I don't truly believe that. I still feel very youthful. I still feel very tapped in because I got nephews that's in their early 20s that I'm still tapped in with them. You know what I'm saying? Like we hang out. They put me on to certain stuff, so I don't feel too out of the loop. Now I'm smart enough not to indulge in certain things that people who are younger than me indulge in. Like I don't go clubbing every week, or I don't make stupid decisions with my money and stuff like that. Like I don't like. So as far as like older in that sense, yes. But as far as like the whole aspect of life, I still feel very young, and you should too, brother. Like we got a long way to go, man.
Like let's transition from that because while it's fresh in my mind, you said that you're more wiser now, and that like I really think that our age group, we are one of the best to do it because we went from no internet to cell phones to internet to virtual, reality now. Like I think that we are the centerpiece for all that, right?
Yeah.
So when you started off hip hop, like I said, it was during a time where you had to grow up to where you had to be a part of like parties and stuff like that. Like how has you doing hip hop now compared to when you started, and what kind of decisions that you had to make that you have to do now compared to when you did like when you were back starting in Shreveport?
Okay, so when I first started rapping in Shreveport, I started off battle rapping. You know what I'm saying? So, and it was like on the spot battle rap. Like it was like, yo, my man's can spit, but I think he can beat you. And we're like, oh yeah, we'll put him on the phone. Oh yeah, well where y'all at? We pulling up. So it was more of a proving ground. And on top of that, back then you couldn't talk about it if you ain't really live it. You know what I'm saying? So nowadays it's turned into more entertainment. Like nobody really fact checking anybody about the stuff that they talking about in their music and stuff. And on top of that, when I first started rapping, it was more so of a word of mouth because we didn't have internet. You know what I'm saying? We didn't get Instagram, we didn't get like Facebook till like our senior year in high school. You know what I'm saying? So before then, it was kind of like MySpace. So if you was uploading music to MySpace, you was kind of advanced because we were just really taking music from people that was already mainstream and putting it on our pages or whatever. So we had to actually get out on foot, go to parties, challenge people, rub shoulders with the DJ. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's been plenty of times I've been to plenty of high school dances when I was younger, and Bebe was DJing there, and we were just going because it was a part of the dance where Bebe let whoever want to rap, he'll let them get on the mic. It was a point in time in that dance where he'll let them get on the mic. And we was going just for that, just to be seen. Nowadays, you can record the music, mix it, master it, shoot a video to it, and put it all out there from your house, like from a desktop. You don't even have to leave your house. So I think that's the difference. But also, I feel like because now kids have that advantage, it makes them lazy a little bit. Like it makes them not appreciate the grind a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because everything is so tangible and things can get handed to them so quickly by a click of a button. As opposed to when we was coming up, we had to actually get out there, go meet folks, not be scared to talk to people and stuff like that.
Walmart parking lots and like you're back in your
Walmart
trunk.
parking lots, back of the bus,
Little J's,
school lunch, school dances, parties at the municipal. Like you know about this stuff.
Holiday years, yeah,
all the years of grinding, man. So now it's just like now I'm smarter, and I have a lot of knowledge about this stuff. So the main thing is, man, you gotta have a solid team. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta have a solid team. If you have enough things going on, you gotta have good management behind you. Shout out to my manager. Michael Huff, man, like we've been rocking for about 7 years now, man, and we've done a lot, together, like interviews, did a mini tour, video shoots, radio interviews, battles, project after project, photo shoot. Like this stuff costs money, man. When you're doing it by yourself, and a lot of people don't understand that. Like it's not as easy as you think, but it's only as hard as you make it. If you get what I'm saying,
man. And y'all, if y'all listening right now, Marlo is dropping gems like right now because this is knowledge that, like, and I've worked in the industry too, and it's like this is knowledge that you get it, man. I'm glad you said it because, like, everything he just said, that's 100% right. Because if your team is not with you, man, it is hard to do it on your own. And like I said, if you want to be something great, you're gonna have to chop off that money. You can't be cheap with it.
You can't be cheap with it, and also, man, most importantly, you have to fall in love with the process, bro. You got to fall in love with that process. A lot of nowadays, people want instant gratification. They want microwave success, and it don't work like that. It worked like that for some people, but 90% of us, it don't work like that. You got to put in that work. You got to grind it out. You got to be told no a bunch of times. You got to go through the rejection. You got to go through failure. You have to go through these things in order to know how to win. Because if all you're doing is winning and you don't know how to take a loss, when you do lose, you're going to lose everything. And then you're not going to know how to bounce back from that. So losses are very important in this game, man.
I forgot who said it, but it was like the NO means next opportunity. So take them no's, like, next opportunity.
Take them no's. I always say this. 1,000,000 no's can never equal to that one yes. 1,000,000 no's can never equate to one yes.
Yep.
All you need is one yes, man.
And that one yes gonna just see you to the shit, man.
It's gonna take you where you need to go, man.
And you take every success that you get, man, and celebrate it, but keep grinding.
Celebrate it. And that's the thing, man. People get caught up in the numbers. People get caught up in, I ain't said that many like, you gotta think about it, bro. Nobody knew you before you put this music out. So if you get one stream, if you make $1 off of something that nobody's expected to pay for, then that's a win. You know what I'm saying? You make any money off of anything that you put out, that's a win. And you just got to run your race, put your blinders on, and be consistent, man. Like, just be consistent with what you're doing. Eventually, like, you never know who's looking at you. That's something that I had to realize. Because I was just like, I'm putting out different music. People not really feeling it. I don't know what's going on. And so, like, I had my doubts. But then, every so often I get little bits of confirmation that somebody out there is watching me. Because I get somebody that's major in the industry, probably like something that I did, or I get word back that, so-and-so, they heard you, bruh. They heard it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, okay, somebody really is listening. So don't think nobody ain't paying attention to you, bro.
That's true, because like that's how this podcast started. Like somebody saw me and like said, "Hey man, like I want to work with you, do this." I'm like, "From California?" I'm like, "All right, I'm from Shreveport." But speaking of Shreveport, like before I go to break, like so you're in Atlanta right now. Like, what was the decision like? So how hard was it to leave Shreveport to pursue music compared? Because like I remember post high school, I will always see you at the Cyphers because I used to DJ and stuff like that. So I've been trying to be in the music scene, and just to see you again doing the Cypher and stuff like that, and to see other talent like I forgot her name already, but like they with the G1 G5 click gang, I forgot her name, but Tokyo, like to see people Tokyo. See people like her leave and do her thing, and like see you leave and do your thing, and it's like what was the decision to like take that leap of faith and actually go out, foreign lands to put your music out there?
My decision, first of all, it wasn't a hard decision for me. I feel like I left January 2019. So from I say August of 2014 to January 2019, I was in Shreveport. From that time that I was back there, I maximized all of my resources. You know what I'm saying? Like I did everything that I could do. I went to every cypher. I tried to do every show that was presented to me. I shot multiple videos. I've done battling. I traveled outside of Shreveport, like to Dallas. Like I toured around Texas a little bit, doing my music and stuff like that. And it got to a point to where I maximized all of my resources. And I realized the music that I was making didn't necessarily cater to Shreveport. Because, like, for those who don't know about Shreveport sticks with Shreveport. You know what I'm saying? Like, they like a certain type of music, and they will not deviate from that. And I respect that to the fullest. And the music that I was making was super different from what people are used to in Shreveport. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that they didn't receive it in a good way, because they all did, because they all knew what I was about. You know what I'm saying? So I never got disrespected and chunked off as if I didn't make great music. But I just knew my music wasn't for the club. And during that time, Shreveport is all about the club. You know what I'm saying? So I made the decision, okay, I need to go somewhere, a bigger city, to where there's bigger opportunity. I can meet different people, different cultures, be amongst, a whole bunch of different people. So I decided to move out to Atlanta to make it work. Now, it hasn't been easy, but it's been worth it. Since then, I've made a lot of connections. Shout out to my producer / engineer, Phenom the Don. He has a lot of accolades under his belt. He produced a lot of music for the Migos before right when they was getting signed to QC. He produced a lot of music for Eric Bellinger, just to name a few. Skipper the Flipper, just to name a few. You know what I'm saying? So that's my guy right there. And since we've been working together, my music has elevated to a whole nother level. So at this point, making that decision to move to Atlanta to pursue my music is probably one of the best decisions that I've ever made, like in life and for my career.
Man, there you have it. And that's kind of how it is. You have to utilize all your resources. That's kind of what I was in Shreveport too, because I wasn't elevated, and then like if you're like a superstar minded person like Marlo Kyng, you can only go so far before you bust that glass ceiling open. So,
right.
And I really respect that, because it's kind of how like what Five was saying too, just, you got to grow. You can't just stay in a pot and just, love our hometown, but you got to grow. And I respect that. And we're going to talk about some more of Marlo Kyng's future music and what he's actually doing in Atlanta on the other side of the break. Make sure you stay tuned to Straight Up Show Podcast Music Monday.
Yeah, I was down and then I blessed up. Hand-me-downs and then I freshed up. Low in the turn big stepper. I was told that the top-notch hustlers don't get the lesser. So I came to reset the record. I've been big flexing in my comfort. Blew a bag this summer. I made it all back, then some while in my slumber. I got my credit right, then I leveled up all my brothers. Then stacked relentlessly till they couldn't subtract the numbers. That mean no more L's to be taken. Highest level of perfection, I prevailed through all my hatred. I got my just due through red tape and litigations. All my struggling can never equate to all of my greatness. Woo, I'm still equipped with the tools that come in the ratio. They don't want smoke, they know I go cool with these super saiyans. Cutting dope with razors, them chances weren't in my favor. Spanky's booze on my back, fighting 36 cases, but now it's 25,000 on my dresser. Yes sir, 50 for the dress up, I'm a aggressive finesser. These women love to flock to the kid, but I never stress them. And jealousy don't look good on you, so homie bless up instead.
I think straight up means to be able to speak in a way that is straight up, to be honest and to speak your truth.
Raw, uncut, you know what I mean? It's blunt, you know, straight to the point. This what it is.
It's just a place to be open and honest, and that's what I appreciate most about it. And it provides a place for community members to come together and just be straight up with each other about things that are going on in the world, because it affects all of us.
Unfiltered, raw, with all the cursing that Calvin does.
Straight up is just being real, telling it like it is, you know, being you.
Being solid, being who you are, no matter what it is, no matter what situation you're faced with. All right, this is who you are. It really speaks to me, saying it is what it is and it ain't what it ain't. Straight up.
Hey everybody out there, I'm Sultan Salahuddin from Southside. Season 3 is out right now on HBO Max. Make sure you tune in, and make sure you tune in to the Straight Up Podcast Show whenever you are online. Peace.
All right, welcome back to the Straight Up Show Podcast, Music Monday. I'm your host, Calvin. Joined with my host today, Mr. Hip Hop Head, the lyricist himself, Mr. Marlo Kyng, the King. Cool, young, grinding, man. So, man, Marlo, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thanks for having me, brother.
Man, it's been so cool to connect back with you and stuff like that. If you've been listening, Marlo has been transitioning all over across the U.S., making music, doing great music. If you just heard some of his music on the commercial break, you know he is a great lyricist. So, and now he's in Atlanta and he's connected, making big networks. And some people he's been working with have produced music for the Migos. Now, transitioning to the Migos, rest in peace to Takeoff. He passed away last year on Halloween night. Innocent bystander, but he was kind of like, it's kind of one of those things now. So like, you know, the conversations I've been having now, Marlo, is that if you're making that money, you have to leave old habits. And like now that you're doing music, you know, what do you think about that kind of situation that happened to Takeoff? Like, you know, we are getting older. You know, you can't be around certain people, but you know, even people like Takeoff, just an innocent bystander, just like hit the hip hop culture, I guess in a way took them. Or do you kind of look at it that way or not?
No, I definitely look at it that way. It's very unfortunate. You know, rest in peace to the young King Takeoff, man. The area that I live in is actually the area that they grew up in. So I definitely felt the impact of it just by being around the people who knew them personally. So it was a major loss to the community, and it was a major loss to the hip hop community. You know what I mean? Yeah, man, you like as you grow in this business, man, you have to move a little different, move a lot smarter than you would have to move as if you weren't famous, or if you weren't in that spotlight. Or like if you're not in that spotlight, you don't typically have to worry about running into people who are jealous of you and stuff like that. But when you come from a certain background and you make it, right? You got people that look at you and be like, man, I used to go to school with that dude. He ain't like, because we see it all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, even people from Shreveport that has been successful, you hear that stuff about them. Like, oh, I went to school with dude. He ain't really on it like that. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what this man been on. You don't know what this man had to go through to make it. You don't know what he had to do to obtain the success that he's obtained. So, with that being said, man, you have to be careful out here, man. You know what I'm saying? You got to move smarter. I don't roll around with a lot of people, just the people that I trust. You know what I'm saying? If I'm going somewhere, maybe like two, 3 people at the max. When I have studio sessions, it's just me and my engineer, and maybe my manager, and maybe one other person that I trust. You know what I'm saying? When I go out to places, I'm very alert. I don't smoke, drink. When I'm when I not at least when I'm out. You know what I'm saying? If I'm around family, then I let my hair down and be comfortable. But if I'm out like in a club or anything like that, I'm enjoying myself, but I'm fully aware of my surroundings. I coming from Shreveport, you have to be fully aware of your surroundings because something could pop off at the drop of a hat. You know what I'm saying? Like I've seen it happen. So I always try to be mindful of how I move around people, and I always try to be mindful of how I treat people as well. You know what I'm saying? Just because I'm at a certain status that someone ain't, I always treat people with the same respect. I'm gonna greet you with respect, and if it goes the other way, I'm gonna try to avoid it the best way I can until I can.
Yep. And I think that didn't make sense to me until like I just started looking at Master P and like Boosie because they had to leave Louisiana because there are a lot of like even with police, they wasn't making that kind of money. So their jealousy came along, and then that's why Boosie kept getting locked up. That's why that's why C Murder, right now what he's going through right now. And like and one thing also I didn't know was with Five, like how he said that he had to like stop playing around in the studio because it costs money and you gotta be serious about it. So I never looked at the way he broke it down. Like, nah, that's money I'm wasting, man. I gotta go in and make sure I'm prepared when I go in the studio.
Yeah, man, that stuff costs money, bro. Like I remember back, back in like maybe like 10, 12 years ago, man, back in like Shreveport, when Young Pros was doing their thing with their studio right there on Marshall Street and stuff like that, man, we would only have enough money for 1 hour to record music. So we would hustle up our little dollars and stuff like that, but we would already have our songs ready and memorized down pat because that stuff costs, bro. Like, luckily today, I'm blessed enough to have an engineer and a producer to where everything that I do is in-house. So I'm at a point now to where, I don't necessarily have to pay money unless, I want to go do some extravagant stuff and go to, some real big fancy studio and stuff like that. Because, every now and then you want to feel fly when you do certain stuff.
Yeah.
It makes the music turn out better just to be in a certain atmosphere and stuff like that. But, for the most part, man, that stuff costs money, bro. Like you can't play around with that. And a lot of people, I've been around a lot of people who waste thousands of dollars, man. They go in the studio, they pay hundreds of dollars an hour, and they don't make not one. Or they spend a whole block session on one song, bro. And I can't fathom me doing that. Like if I pay for 8 hours, I'm gonna record 8 hours worth of music.
and your music is very different. Like, you and Five, but you definitely, if Five said you had to coach him on this, but like the way you use lyrics, like you don't see that a lot lately, especially like even the mainstream. Like, how did you get so crafty at the way you're able to, use wordplay and lyricism? And part two to another question is how when you go into the studio, are you doing beats first, then lyrics, or lyrics first, then the music? So those two questions, like basically, how did you get so well at wordplay? And when it comes to actually creating your music, are you music first or lyrics first?
Okay, so how I got so good at wordplay is because when I was younger, when I first started, like I say, when I was in middle school, early stages of high school, all through high school, I was very rough around the edges with my music and stuff. So, I was listening to a lot of D Block, a lot of G Unit, a lot of Jay-Z and stuff like that. So the stuff that I was talking about was very rugged. You know what I'm saying? And then after a while, as I was getting older, I was just like, yo, I don't want to be cursing a lot of my music. I need to find better ways to express myself. So I just started digging deep and finding better ways to express my music and becoming more witty with my wordplay. And then on top of that, life taught me how to be better with my wordplay too. Going through certain situations and making music about it, telling a story that people can relate to without having to curse or without having to curse as much. You know what I mean? I take pride in it, just structuring my songs. And the way I structure my songs, to answer the second part of your question, is it's music first for me, then lyrics. Like every now and then I can write, like I'll write something without the beat, and then my producer comes along and structures the beat behind what I'm saying. But 9 times out of 10, not that's my producer right there. He's sick. Excuse me. He's sick right now. But 9 times out of 10, we're gonna sit down and we're gonna cook up a beat together. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't like, so he'll actually produce it and make the beat, but I'm a structure it how I want it to be structured. So I kind of co-produce with him, and then I'll find the topic to talk about. You know what I'm saying? So if I write something, I have to listen to it, and the beat has to speak to me first in order for me to, write a song to it.
But now that you are like, to me, I think you're at a level of top tier right now. And like I said, I've seen your progression from, M3 to now you Marlo Kyng and stuff like that. And like, just, you're very sharp, like lethal almost, lethal with the lyricism. When you go in the booth or when you start jotting down stuff, where does your inspiration come from? What are you writing about? Like, what is the Kyng story?
What is the Kyng story? The Kyng story, like my story is just basically I try to tell my story the best way I can, as far as like letting people know, hey, I'm a regular guy just like y'all. I go through everyday life stuff, and I just want to talk about stuff that's gonna be relatable, and be relatable 10 years down the line. I just want to make timeless music. So whenever you play a song of mine, you could pinpoint the time that you was at in your life and be like, yo, I remember when this song came out because I was doing this, this, and this, or I was at this point in my life, man, and this helped me out, or this got me through, and stuff like that. So I always try to be real. I also throw a little fabrication in there every now and then, just to give it a little pop. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, like when my music is real. Like I don't do too much capping in my rap, man. So everything that I talk about, I done been through it, or I done seen, or I know somebody that been through it, or it puts me in a mindset of, hey, I could go through this, but I'm pretty sure somebody's going through this, so they can relate to it and stuff like that. I make music for the car ride home. Like you just getting off of work, you got a lot of things on your mind. You want to get in the car, man. I'm gonna throw on this Marlo Kyng and just zone out for a second. So,
Marlo Kyng, man, like when you got us ready for your album drop, that was I've never seen it like it before. Because you see a lot of people on these hip hop Instagram, like, promotional pages, like, and it's like, all right, but the way you dropped yours, it got really anticipated. You know what I mean? And like I told you before, you stand out because you have the X, Y, Z, and more. Like, how critical is it to be an artist right now to have not only just the great music, the promo skills, and like the actual video itself? Like, how important is that to be top tier like yourself?
It's very important, man. Put it like this. So you can be walking down the street, right? And you're like, man, I'm hungry. And you see this restaurant, it looks so run down on the inside. I mean, on the outside. And then you go inside, it looks extravagant, and they serve the best food. Nobody would never know that if the outside don't look pretty. You know what I'm saying? So your presentation is everything. My brother tells me this all the time because he's the one who kind of helped me. Like, he's the one who had a hand in my creative director, thing, as far as like doing the promotion and the artwork for a lot of my stuff and the ideas. Shout out to my brother Yodi. He's out there in New York right now doing his thing, DJing real crazy, heavy out there. So shout out to DJ Yodi. But nah, man, he's big on presentation, and therefore it made me be big on presentation. You know what I'm saying? So You have to set yourself apart. Your title means something. Your artwork means something. The video has to mean something. Like your content that you put out has to count because for the simple fact, nobody knows you right now. So when you come across my page and you see something that I put out, it makes you want to stop and be like, hold on, who is this? Let me go check him out. Like, so that's very important. You can't half step with that, man.
And for the people, once again, that don't know what the G stands for in King, what's the G stand for?
Grinding.
Exactly. So he just told y'all, just like that.
Grinding.
Just like it's as simple as that, man. It's as simple as that. Got a couple more questions for you, and we'll let you go. But we cannot let you go without you telling us who is Marlo Kyng's top 5.
Ooh, who's Marlo Kyng's top 5?
Ooh, yes, sir.
Marlo Kyng. No, I'm just playing. Of course. So all right, let me go down. No particular order, I guess.
No order. No.
So my top 5 is like right now of all time.
However you want to say it. Just however you want to say it.
Okay, so my top 5, Biggie, of course. Biggie Hove, of course. Big Crit, that's one of my favorite artists. Kiss, Jada Kiss. How many was that?
That's
Biggie
4.
Hove, that's 4, and me.
You, hey, you gotta be the best.
Yeah, but I you know what? I kind of shied away from my top 5 artists or whatever, from making a list of my top 5 because there's so many people that I listen to.
Mm-hmm.
It's so many people that that are my favorites right now. Like West Side Boogie, he's one of my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
Simba out of California, he's one of my favorites. Marcus Clay out of Houston, like he's fire. Dear Silas, he's one of like 5. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh yeah.
Man, it's a lot of people. Like it's a lot of rappers out there that don't get enough, credit for what they do, man, and they really dope. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, that's about it, man. It's just like if I was going, like, I listen to rap, like, I do listen to other rap too and stuff like that. I'm with all of it, but if I had to choose my personal favorites as of right now, Dear Silas, Crit, Simba, Marcus Clay, 5, and myself.
Yourself. There you go, man. Hey, I love it, man. Hey, I love it too, man. A lot of people get mad at me because I say Andre 3000 is my favorite, but man, that's
without a doubt.
Like just lyrics, like just wordplay is like, bro, just when he did that Kanye West, Donda, I was like,
God. Yeah,
bro, I was
he's
like,
rapping a lot of people under the table, and what makes him so great is that he don't come out often. Like, see, we living in a time where people want to know everything about every aspect of your life, but what makes artists so great sometimes is that they reserve that like some type of mystique to their life. Like J. Cole, Kendrick, Andre 3000. Like you don't really know too much about their personal life, so when they come out, it's always a treat.
That's
like,
why MJ was
special.
That's why MJ was so like, loved, man, because he was so, at that time on TikTok, they like, well, what got MJ in trouble was it. So like, internet started happening because like, when the 80s, he was so mysterious and then he would just stand there on stage and people would just go crazy because you would never see him. You know what I mean? And like, so man, that's true, man. One can only be that popular, to be like MJ, like just go on stage, you just got a microphone in your hand and just boom, you kill it. All right, so man, Marlo Kyng, man, I gotta thank you once again for coming on the show. My last question to you, and I ask every artist this question. Marlo Kyng, the question is, why should people listen to Marlo Kyng?
Why should people listen to Marlo Kyng?
Yes, sir.
You gotta ask yourself, why wouldn't you want to listen to Marlo Kyng?
I'm not mad.
Why wouldn't you want to listen to Marlo Kyng?
Okay.
Like, because I'm him. Not to toot my own horn, but I'm him. I'm that guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and y'all been listening. Y'all heard this music on the breaks. You see why I've been begging for him to come on the show. Like, he is planting seeds. He is a lyrical just beast, like just slicing people, man. So I've seen him battle rap. I've seen him produce. I've seen him like rap songs. I see you crank out 2 albums in like a year, right? 2 albums in a year. The 1 year,
2
like
albums in a year, man.
in a year, like and before you go, I'm tripping. Like, what's up next for Marlo Kyng? Like, what's next?
Oh man, I got a lot of good stuff coming up, man. Like recently, I just me and my man Tego, young Tego, out of Dallas, we doing a lot of work together. We got some things coming up, real special. Right now, I'm in the process of working on another project. Title coming soon. Me and Phenom, like we got a lot of stuff in the works, man. We already got a project, that we got on tuck. It's called Jody. Strictly for the females. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah.
It's for the women and stuff like that. So we got a lot of content coming up. I just been shooting videos and taking photo shoots and just making my rounds and getting my music together. So when we roll out big. And that's my main thing. Like, I'll never fall off. I'll just fall back. So when I do pop back out, it'd be a big pop out.
There you have it. Hey, and like I said, y'all need to follow him. So Marlo Kyng, how can people follow you on social media and kind of keep in touch and see the greatness that I see in the King himself?
Oh man, you can follow me on Instagram at Marlo Kyng. That's MarloKyng, no spaces in between. Facebook is the same thing. Twitter is the same thing. SoundCloud, the same thing. Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube, Tidal. I'm everywhere on social media. So just type in Marlo Kyng, and if you'll see me.
Yes, sir. And if you didn't catch all that, we'll have the name, all his listings on the show's description and then on the ticker below hand. So once again, Marlo Kyng, K-I-N-G. Yes, sir. Thank you so much for coming on Straight Up Show Podcast, Music Monday.
Yes, sir.
All right, that's a wrap for our show today, y'all. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. If you want to go see some of our previous Music Monday artists, make sure you go to our website at straightupshowpodcast.com. That's straightupshowpodcast.com. There you can see all our merchandise, our previous guest episodes, and also some future episodes coming too. If you want to support the podcast, make sure you go to our Patreon page at patreon.com/straightupshowpodcast 318. Shout out to Shreveport. Patreon.com/straightupshowpodcast 318. Until then, there's only one rule to our show. You gotta be
straight up.
All right. And Marlo Kyng, before you go, you got a little something for us, right?
Yes, sir, man. But before I go, I just want to say shout out to all my family. Shout out to my brother. Shout out to Five. Shout out to you, Calvin, for bringing me on the show. Shout out to my girl. You know what I'm saying? Like, shout out to my kids. Like, we doing big things. Shout out to my management. Shout out to my producer. We just doing big things. But before I go, I just want to leave y'all with one of my favorite songs off of my project, Public Housing Heroes, called New Vibrations.
All right, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, Marlo Kyng.
The brothers, they all got together one night in a basement. The brothers, they all got together one night in a basement and they said, we got to find a new way.
Yeah. 2021, man, we turn it up, man. New money, man, new whips. We're going hard as ever, man. Word the bank on that one. Yeah. Marlo, let's get into it. Yo, as a new year approach, I'm stepping right into my glow. RIP the bros, hated that you couldn't go. I done ran it up, now it's time to run it up some more. Made a promise to myself that I ain't going back to pole. Kept it meant to know that how they treated me when I was broke. Use it as my motivation, hit my goals and let it go. Yeah, let me get myself together, man, hold up. I'm back at it. Bitch, I'm certified, paid a pretty penny for my my slot. Never minimized, always made the most with what I got. I was patient, now I'm making moves, Johnny on the spot. Used to walk to work, now I'm looking jiggy in the drop. I swear, man, I wouldn't be here if I ain't struggle. I went from having nothing to something to back to nothing. Tell me what you know about pain because you hungry, or couldn't see your kid cause you beefed out with his mother, I swear. I mean, we good though now. Just wanted to put that out there. Shout out to baby moms though. Yo. I done seen it all, made it through the worst and stood tall. Man, you niggas flawed, never be content with being y'all. You gon' hit a wall and break through right into a morgue. I'm just trying to get some money and retire both my moms. I got 3 kids and taking care of them off one job. Wanna throw the towel in because it's easier to rob, but that one mistake is send me up the road until I'm gone. So I never let a circumstance use me as a pawn, cause I grew from it. Now it's new whips, new chains, new blue honeys, but I'm still humble, I ain't changed. When you got a peace of mind, money and a thing, you crashing for the money, so I know we ain't the same. Nigga, I already stayed 6 feet away from lame, so Corona reassure you never hop into my lane. If they can just see me and they start looking at them strange, cause I up the number after the dot that's on the range. Word to Biggie. Word to Biggie. Word to Biggie.
The brothers, they all got together one night in the basement and they said,
I told you, man, 2021, man, we turn it up. New money, new everything. I'm going hard as ever, man.
Had to let these niggas know I'm going hard as ever, man. New shit on the way, new whips on the way, new jewelry, new crib, new spots, nigga, new motherfucking everything, nigga.
Music I hear coming across my ears is a new vibration. The music I feel coming out of my bones is giving me inspiration, and it's a girl.